So we do the. So, very warm welcome here to the Pierre Werner Cricket Ground. This is the first match of the international T20 with two captains from Joost. And Joost Meys is going to toss as he is the home at Luxembourg captain. And Luxembourg have won the toss and have decided to bat first, which I think we all thought was a sensible decision. So the game will be starting in around 15 minutes with Luxembourg winning the toss and batting first. Okay, so a very warm welcome to the Pierre Werner Cricket Ground. We're here in the commune of Valfredange in Luxembourg. And about 5 minutes ago, the toss took place between the two captains of Luxembourg and the Czech Republic. Luxembourg's captain Joost Meys won the toss and decided to bat first. So Luxembourg will be batting in around 25 minutes time when the action starts. In the meantime, we'll go through the team sheets, and you can also see now over on the right-hand side of the pitch, there are team photos happening with Luxembourg being the first team. So, team sheets. We'll start with the home team. We have got James Barker, Scott Brown, Joost Meys, who is the captain, Vikram Vij, Saransh Koshetta, Tony Whiteman, Adi Manipali, who will be keeping today for Luxembourg, young Marcus Cope, Pankaj Malav, William Cope, and Ankush Nanda. And Reinhard Heinz will be the 12th man for Luxembourg today. So, moving over to the Czech team. Their captain and wicketkeeper is Ed Knowles. and he is going to be supported by Hilal Ahmed, Naveed Ahmed, Kyle Gillam, Sawuri Daviz, Shurpal Gajar, Kushal Kumar Mendon, Aaron Ashokan, Sulesh Wickramaskra, Henry Giori, Sumit Pokiral, and the 12th man will be Soraya Renjarani. So, two very strong teams lining up. And we're going to take a little bit of a break now for around 20 minutes before the start of the game. So the start of the game is due to start 4 p.m. Luxembourg time. Once again, Luxembourg won the toss and decided to field. And we'll be with you again in around 20 minutes, about 5 minutes before the start of the game. So once again, we've had lots of requests for the starting 11s. So we will go through them again for everybody. So just to recap, around 10 minutes ago, Luxembourg won the toss and decided to bat. And the starting 11s will be as follows. We'll start with the Czech Republic this time. So captaining for the Czech Republic is Ed Knowles. He will also be keeping. And he's got with him Hilal Ahmed, Naveed Ahmed, Kyle Gillam, Sawuri Daviz, Shurpal Gajar, Kushal Kumar Mendon, Aaron Ashokan, Raya Rengarian. So that is the Czech team for this first game against Luxembourg. And the Luxembourg 11, who will be representing in this first game, is James Barker, Scott Brown, Joost Mays, who is also the Luxembourg captain, Vikram Vij, Saransh Kulreshla, Tony Whiteman, Adi Manipali, who will be the wicketkeeper for Luxembourg. Marcus Cope, Pankaj Malav, William Cope, and Ankush Nanda. And 12th man for Luxembourg will be Reinhard Heinz. So those are the two playing 11s for this upcoming game starting at 4 o'clock Luxembourg time. Luxembourg versus the Czech Republic. We'll be back in around 10 minutes just before the start of the game to go through everything again. So once again, it's a very good afternoon from Luxembourg. We are here in the commune of Valfordange, which is slightly north of Luxembourg city centre, around 7 kilometres north, and located in the commune of Valfordange is the beautiful Pierre Werner cricket ground, which is the home to the Optimist Cricket Club of Luxembourg. But today and over the course of this weekend, we'll be hosting the first international T20 tournament that Luxembourg has done. Today we've got Luxembourg versus the Czech Republic. So already around 25 minutes ago, we had the toss where the two captains, Joost Meijs of Luxembourg and Ed Knowles of Czech Republic, went out with the umpires, Adrian van den Dries and Jean-Heger Jan, to do the toss. Luxembourg won the toss, decided to bat first, so Luxembourg will be batting in a couple of minutes. And as the two umpires go out, Adrian van den Dries and Jean-Heger Jan will quickly go through the teams. So making their way now to the middle is the Czech Republic. They're being led by the wicketkeeper captain Ed Knowles, with Hilal Ahmad, Naveed Ahmed, Kyle Gillam, Savuni Davies, Shurpal Gajar, Kushal Kumar Mendon, Sulesh Wickremestra, Honey Gyori, and Sumit Poligayal. And Luxembourg now, the two opening batsmen here are striding out. And the opening batsmen for Luxembourg are James Barker, Scott Brown. And supporting them is Joost Meijs, Vikram Vij, Saransh Kulshriyatha, Tony Whiteman, Adi Manipali, Marcus Cope, Pankaj Malav, William Cope, and Ankush Nanda. And I'm here joined this afternoon by a fellow colleague, Anand Pandey. Anand is one of the juniors who has come up through the ranks of the junior cricket here in Luxembourg. He's played international cricket himself. Very good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for the introduction, Rich. Quite a overcast day here in Luxembourg, 20 degrees Celsius. Slightly windy, but good conditions for cricket nonetheless.
So we have facing for Luxembourg is James Barker. At the non-striker's end is Scott Brown. So for those of you that can see, James Barker is shirt number 14. He's a left-handed batsman. Scott Brown's shirt number 16, who is a right-handed batsman. And we've been informed that opening the bowling for the Czech Republic will be Honey Gyori. Barker has been in excellent form this summer for pretty much every team he's played for in Luxembourg, whether it be the Optimists or local friendly games. He's probably going to be very much the anchor of the innings, whilst the other big hitters play around him.
Also to note, Luxembourg going with a left and right hand combination. So James Barker is a left-handed bat, and let's see if that leads to any wavering in line from the bowler, because sometimes that's a tendency.
Absolutely, it'll be always a difficult test for opening bowlers, having to adjust their line to right-handers, left-handers, and opening with a left-right combination. Hopefully, it should be a slight advantage to Luxembourg in this case. we're nearly underway now, and the umpire's call play. And it starts with a full toss, just push the leg side there by James Barker, who's got Luxembourg on their way with a single, and already quickly rotating the strike to put Scott Brown to face his first ball of the tournament, first ball of the game. Now we've got a deep square leg that's gone out, that's probably slightly off camera. Right back over the bowler's head. A fantastic start for Luxembourg. 5, 2 balls.
Absolutely, Rich. The intent is clear from ball one. Anchoring in one end, attack from the other.
And that's a wide now past the Hanigori. Just been slightly put off his mark by the aggressiveness opening barrage there from Scott Brown. Wide for the third ball. Some great running there. I think these two, they're both young, they're both early 20s, and I think rotating the strike, pinching quick singles, running hard is going to be a key factor for this opening pair, and I'm sure that will enable to put Luxembourg in a solid opening start.
Beautiful little leg glance there from James Barker, and the ball races away to the boundary. Quite a quick outfield. And both batsmen are now have a boundary under their name, which should give them quite a lot of confidence going forward.
Another good push into the leg side there from James Barker. So sensible batting. Boundaries have been accompanied by singles afterwards. There's been no rash shots. And Luxembourg are already into double figures within the first 4 balls of this over, as the field once again changes to the right-handed field setting for Scott Brown, who is now going to face. It's the end of the first over. And at the end of the first over, we are currently, well, Luxembourg are currently 12 for no wicket. So a fantastic opening over there, 12 for no wicket off the first over. Joining us this afternoon in the commentary box is Harpal Singh. Harpal's been in Luxembourg for well over 10 years. There's a stalwart of Luxembourg cricket, and will be providing some insights for you this afternoon going forward as we start the second over.
Thank you kindly, Richard. An absolute privilege and pleasure to be here amongst seasoned commentators from the sounds of it. And so we have a change of bowler coming in from the bridge end. And the name of the bowler, Kyle. Yeah.
Taking the new ball at the other end, and left arm, who just beat James Barker there, I think, for a bit of pace, as he put that into the centre of the ground and came through around chest high. You have to be careful bowling short on this track, because it's a little bit slower, and there is a tendency just for the ball to loop up and end up in the cow field over to our right-hand side.
ball there just going past the hip on the leg side. We have a 3-6 field. Good to see the weather holding up as well.
Blustery, but no rain, which is what might be forecast later on. And once again, he's bowling with good pace. Line slightly down the leg side, although that obviously clip maybe pad because it was a half appeal from the keeper, who thought maybe it touched the bat on the way through, but must have clipped the pad because there was no wide called by umpire Adrian van den Dries.
Good respect there from James.
Running there from the opening pair from Luxembourg, just push back past the bowler, and certainly a single for these two. As I said before, they're very quick between the wickets, and they will be looking to pinch singles at every opportunity, and especially with such a tight opening over here from Carl Gillam. They're going to need to eke out every run they can get. The Scott Brown. And once again, continues with a very aggressive start, looking to hit Carl Gillam straight back over his head, but unfortunately mishitting on this occasion, but still ran a single through to mid-off. But the line that Carl Gillam is bowling is, I think, very much suited to the right-hander. Just going across him, bowling just outside off stump, as James Barker now is back on strike.
Some good cricket here, some tight bowling, and a solid defensive shot there from James. And that's the over.
For the second over, we're 15 for no wicket. Luxembourg are 15 for no wicket. That was a very good second over there from Carl Gillam. He bowled with good pace in good areas as well and made it very difficult for the batsman to score. Really just putting it just on a length, just short of a length, which is the prime area to bowl on this track here at the Pierre Werner Cricket Ground in Luxembourg.
Seems like there's a change in field there. I had man out on the boundary at square leg for Scott. He's now come into the circle. Two men out the circle, our third man on fine leg. It's a solid drive into the ground there from Scott, straight to the man at cover. Scott almost swatting that from outside the off stump, trying to pull a ball there into the leg side.
Scott can certainly hit the ball very hard. He's a rugby player as well. So very solid, well-built chap who can certainly clear the boundaries fairly effortlessly. And actually with those aggressive intentions, deep mid-on has now come back onto the boundary. The extra cover, and that was a fine shot, hit powerfully, and once it's gone past that inner circle, there's pretty much no stopping it. The outfield here, as Anand said before, is extremely quick, and as soon as anything is half-timed past the circle, it's probably going to race away for 4 runs.
Agreed. Superb shot. Very similar to the first ball. This time he just found the gap.
Slightly too short there from Honeygory, and Scott Brown pounced on it and clipped it away just through behind square leg for 4 runs. And this over is already starting to prove very costly for the Czechs. So they need to do something now to pull this over back. 2 balls left in the over.
Great stuff from Scott. Hardly any risk with that. He finds himself a boundary again, going towards the flags there. It's nice to see those flags out on the boundary. It's got the countries represented there.
Gory and Czech Republic with some work to do here. Final ball of this over to try and contain things. And does so brilliantly. Very well bowled, much better line, much better length from Honeygory, and he finishes the over off well. Luxembourg are 27 for no wicket, and started very well. Honeygory really taking the brunt. Anything slightly loose or offline has been punished by both James Barker, but in particular Scott Brown, who was looked to be very aggressive and dominate the bowling from ball 1. And I think we're going to have a second over now from the Czech left-hander Kyle Gillam, who bowled very well in his first over, only conceded 2 or 3 runs. And just a bit of confusion now as fine leg has ran to 3rd man, only to be told he's going back to fine leg again. So a little bit of extra exercise for the opening bowler, Honeygory. Barker all over. Beautiful shot, just clipped off his hip for 2 runs. And these two batting very well. There's been very few dot balls in the opening couple of overs, which is exactly what Luxembourg will want to see. If they're not scoring boundaries, they've been very good at just nudging the 1s or the 2s and keeping the scoreboard ticking over.
Dot ball there, but absolutely rich. There's a lot of value here for playing proper cricketing strokes. It's quite a big outfield, so you need to hit the ball extremely well to clear the boundary. But with the grass being cut beautifully, the ball travels, absolutely travels on the outfield. Couple good deliveries on the trot by the bowler, and well respected by James Barker.
Yeah, extremely well said there. I just feel like these batsmen are definitely finding their feet, finding the middle of the bat. Seems like they're a perfect partnership, good complement. Scott more the aggressor, as Richard was saying earlier, and James just nudging and nurdling. In comes Kyle again. And again, a nice bat on ball there from James, straight to the man at cover. Again, a lovely, gentle clip there off the hips from James. Earns him 2 runs. Simplicity at best.
James very much playing every delivery for its merit right now. So 3 good deliveries, respected. Dot balls, followed by a nice 2 played on the leg side and well fielded by the outfielder, the bowler, in fact, of the last over.
Certainly seems a very measured opening stand so far. No risky shots, and fairly well composed from both of them, I would say. Looked a good leave there, and I believe there's another ball left for the over. Oh no, that's been called over indeed. So again, another solid over there from Kyle.
31 at the end of 4 overs.
Lovely settings here in the Walford Orange Pierre Warner's Oval. We have a very small select spectator stand on our left-hand side. What would be our grandstand equivalent, I would say, but in current circumstances, I'd say the spectator numbers have been limited to 25 as a maximum limit, and so we have to respect the current guidelines. So it's lovely to see a few numbers there, some local support. And it appears we have a change of bowler. So no more for Honey Gory. That's the end of his spell after a couple of overs. And Anand, do you want to confirm who the new bowler is?
The new bowler is Sudesh Vikram Sakara. Honey Gory.
Same field settings.
And the onslaught from Scott Brown continues. This time around, the ball not timed as well, so it stops just before the boundary line. The batsmen run well for 2 runs and choose against going for the third. Probably a good decision.
Yeah. It was kind of a get bat on ball and try and hit it too hard. Oh, and we hear a no ball. Is that from the umpire? They've ran a single, and it is a no ball. And I suppose that was for the front foot, I believe. And that presents James an opportunity for a free hit. The field remains the same. A couple of fielders moving over for the left-hander.
That's the first free hit opportunity of this tournament. Let's see what it brings.
Yeah, that's right. Early pressure on the bowler, I would say. A couple of balls in, and the batsmen are really on top of him. And unbelievable scenes on the free hit. We see Scott Brown run out at the non-striker's end, looking to pinch a single. James refused the call, and Scott was caught a couple of yards short there, I believe, and did not even offer to ground the bat. I think he was definitely out there, and unfortunately, a sad way to see the end of his innings.
Yes, it was a good ball for a free hit. Scott overcommitted in the run. Quick early call by James, but unfortunately a bit too late for Scott to turn around and get back into the crease, and a good direct hit from the bowler there as well. So against the direction which the game was going, so a quick wicket for a check, and they would be hoping that this ends up slowing the rate down a little for Luxembourg.
Definitely, and I think that was against the run of play. However, let's see what the skipper can do for the Luxembourg team. Out comes used to the non-strikers end. James looking solid again there with his defense fully intact. I assume Scott would be very very upset with that dismissal, more on his own accord than anything. I think perhaps he could have offered a dive there.
Good running there from the two Luxembourg batsmen, James Barker, and the new batsman, the skipper, who is Joost Mees, who's been in fine form this year. He scored some big runs in the local Luxembourg leagues. So pressure on his shoulders as Sudesh is once again just going to finish off what is a very tidy over.
Yeah, a very good comeback there from Sudesh, considering the way the first couple of balls went. And that's the end of his over.
Luxembourg are 37 for 1. And as we have to do now with the COVID-19 protocols, the fielding team now will be going to the disinfectant stations parked behind each end of the stumps to disinfect their hands to stop the spread of COVID virus. So it's been a balanced start. You would say that Luxembourg started extremely well with Scott Brown, some very expansive and aggressive shots, backed up very capably there with by James Barker, but unfortunately was out in a unusual fashion, run out at the non-strikers end off a free hit, which has now brought in skipper Joost Mees to face his first ball. And it looks like that Kyle Gillum, the opening fast bowler for the Czech Republic, is going to continue into his third over. And Joost will be facing his first ball against Kyle. And as we said before, Kyle seems to have a very good line to the right-handers, just pushing it just outside the off stump. And they've packed the offside field because of that. And Joost Mees, as James Barker did, as Scott Brown did, opens his account with a boundary. Probably not quite as controlled as he would have liked, but in years to come, it will be a fantastic cover drive that he'll be telling his grandkids about.
When he slashes hard, doesn't he, East? So, no half measures. And the ball's just made its way into the long grass, but they've managed to recover that. Very evenly poised contest. Very exciting. And we're also joined by another esteemed, seasoned commentator. Over here, we have Mark Fitzgerald as well to join the commentary box. Without any further ado, I'll hand over to Mark.
Mark Fitzgerald is very much a legend of Luxembourg cricket. He's a previous international cricketer himself, as Kyle Gillum comes in, and a dot ball. And as we're going through, Mark Fitzgerald is a previous international cricketer himself. He is a ex-chairman of the largest cricket club in Luxembourg, the Optimist Cricket Club. And for all of those that are watching at the moment on YouTube, you can see the blue bridge in the background, which is very fondly dubbed the Fitzgerald Bridge. So it's my honor to have Mr. Fitzgerald sat next to me right now. Afternoon, Mark.
Good afternoon, Richard. Afternoon, everybody. Good to be here. A lovely line there, just outside off stump. Moved away, it left him a bit, and frankly, Joost did well to leave that.
He certainly bowled well in his opening stint, Kyle Gillum. He's slightly towards the leg side with the left-handed James Barker, but certainly to the right-hander, both of Scott Brown and now Joost Mees. It's a perfect line, and he's bowling very well. And the slipper's now come into place as well. But once again, something Luxembourg have done very well so far is just look for those singles. If the Czech have been bowling well, we've just been happy to rotate the strike, look for the ones, look for the twos, and try and punish the bad balls.
Yes, they certainly have. It's not been easy scoring here for Luxembourg in these first half a dozen overs. And yeah, Kyle's come back on the money. As you say, he's a little bit leg side to the left-hander, but it's not easy to be constantly bowling to left and right-handers, is it?
Absolutely. I think he has certainly been, out of the three Czech bowlers, the pick of the bowlers so far. Very economical and posed questions, certainly for both Scott Brown and for Joost Mees, with that probing line just outside the off stump.
Back on the money again. So that looks like the end of the over. So that's the end of the sixth over. 42 runs. 1 wicket down, as we saw a couple of overs ago. That was Scott run out off the free hit. So apart from that, rather unfortunate wicket. The Luxembourg team are cracking along. They probably want to pick the tempo up a bit, Rich, wouldn't they? This is probably not what they were looking for after 6.
No, I think they might have been looking for a few more runs. And of course, now that at the end of the sixth over, that of course is the end of the power play as well. So the opportunity to potentially hit over the top with a little more freedom is going to be reduced. And we can already see the Czech field is starting to spread out. So we now have a deep mid on and a deep mid off. We have a third man and a fine leg. So we have 4 fielders out, as Sadesh is going to continue now into his second over, and Joost Mees will be facing.
On leg stump, Joost did well to dig that one out.
Over from Sadesh, and bowling to Joost, who's currently on 5, James Barker on 13. Joost Mees has absolutely nailed that out of the middle of the bats, straight through point for 4 runs. It was a front foot cut shot nearly. Quite unique.
It wasn't even a bad ball, Rich. Was it? It was a good length ball just outside the off stump, and he's put everything into that, right off the middle of the bat, right out of the screws.
Absolutely. There's not much the bowler could have done about that. It was just a fantastic shot. And actually, that's also prompted a fielding change. So deep mid-off has now come to a normal mid-off, and cover has dropped out to roam the boundary out there. And nearly exactly the same ball was bowled, but a little more decorum, a little more respect shown there by the Luxembourg skipper, Joost Mees.
It's another strong square cut there from Joost. And actually, the fielder out on the cover boundary did well to pick it up, because it took a nasty bobble just as it got to him, and he was almost eating it for his tea.
Yeah, some excellent fielding there, and some good batting by the Luxembourg skipper.
They've gone for a cheeky single there, just pushed it out to short cover. Bowler Sutish came in with a return throw, and it looks like James was well in his ground, but cheeky single just to keep the strike rotating. And as we said, it makes it much harder now for the bowlers to keep bowling at these left and right hand combinations. That was good running there from the Luxembourg pair.
And that was very nicely played by James Barker. And that's a 50 up for Luxembourg. So at the end of the 7th over, Luxembourg are 50 for 1.
I think Luxembourg will be pretty happy with that over. They've certainly kept the runs going. They've rotated the strike and they've made it hard for the Czech team to bowl at them. This is a good over from Luxembourg.
Yeah, normally the tendency after a wicket is the run rate slowing down, but Joost has come in and ensured that the run rate has stayed as high as it was when Scott was on the crease. Change of bowler by the looks of it now.
And it looks like we've got the Czech bowler Kushal Kumar coming on to replace Kyle Gillum up at the Fitzgerald Bridge end. Now this is the first sight we've got of Kushal, so it'd be interesting to see what he's doing. It looks like he's coming off a quite short run. Look, even like he's left-handed, so maybe we've got a bit of left-hand orthodox here to James. Yeah, that's a leg side wide. The umpires are going to be very tight on anything down the leg side here for this ICC tournament. I think we all know the standard, and down the leg side is always going to be called a wide. Yeah, he's back on a better line there. That was middle and off stump, nice and straight, wicket to wicket, just what you want to be bowling a left-hander, left-hander. And frankly, James didn't seem to pick it up. He chipped it out to mid-wicket. It was a good job for James. There wasn't anyone out there. That was a good ball.
15 of 23. Now James Barker. Slightly short ball in the leg side. Joost tried to hook that away, didn't quite get the middle, and one bounce not too far away from the fielder at square leg.
Yeah, I think that's another false shot that we've got here off Kushal Kumar. He seems to be troubling the batsman in his first over. Although that short wide on the leg stump doesn't seem to have troubled anyone except the fielder. That's a pretty average piece of fielding there. He let that go straight through his legs for 4. The ball didn't even seem to be travelling that fast. He puts his hand up to apologise, but not sure the bowler's going to be too happy about that.
The old stop the ball with the foot technique was tried there, but the ball in this case just ended up going under the feet.
That's another false shot there from James. He seemed to be just a bit early on it, didn't it? And so instead of pushing it out to mid-off, he sort of hooked it a bit to mid-on. I think the change of pace is troubling the batsman in this over. They'll just need to get used to the fact that this orthodox left armer has taken the pace off the ball a bit.
Does seem like it.
Does also seem like he's not an orthodox left armer. He seems to be a right-hander, which is pretty miraculous that he's changed in the middle of the over. So you don't often see that here in international cricket.
Batsmen are, regardless, doing a good job of keeping the strike rotating. Not too many dot balls. Bit of indecision there, but no harm done in the end. Looks like that's the end of the over. Score is 59 of 8.
And at the end of the 8th over, I'll hand the mic back over to Harbs.
James Barker now at 20, looking steady. Yost on the other end with a quick 14.
Sudesh coming in again at the start of a new over. Oh, nearly got through there, I would say, and you just got a bit of bat on. It didn't look in control, but an inside edge and a dot ball, but gave the bowler some promise there, I would say.
Couple good deliveries on the trot there, trying to tuck the batsman up around about middle and leg stump, not giving any room to free his arms.
Absolutely, that's the key. Just not giving use there that room. Again, a body line there from Sudesh. Say middle stump, bang on middle stump line. No one out on the leg side boundary other than a fine leg and a long on. But forget
Cracking
that.
shot there.
No need to think about the leg side there as you scream crackers, a cover drive for 4. Freeing his arms, lovely hands. There was no questioning that shot.
Really the first time the bowler has erred on line there, and Yost taking full advantage of that with a cracking cover drive.
Slightly short there and runs. And that's going to hurt. Squeezing 2s from what looked like a 1. Great running from the Luxembourg pair.
So important running between the wicket, making sure that you're putting pressure on the outfielders and not just the bowlers.
And that's the one. As mentioned earlier, there was no one there on the leg side, and Hughes just swings around the corner, square leg for 4.
Yeah.
69 runs on the board after 9 overs, 1 wicket down.
What really started off as a great over was spoiled a bit at the end there with I think 10 runs coming off the last 3 balls.
Yeah, it's a good turnaround there as the bowler looked to get the better of Houston in the first couple of balls, but it was a nice turnaround. Nearly at the halfway stage of the innings. And we have a change of bowler, Naveed Ahmed, who's seems to have a short run up, so potentially a spinner with the wicketkeeper standing up here to mix it up for the Czech team.
First time we're seeing spin. James has been quite cautious in his innings as the anchor so far, so it'd be interesting to see if he carries on or we see a change of intent.
So Naveed looks like to be an off-spin action, long on, a cow corner, and a square leg, deep square leg. That said, James just pushes out to the sweeper on the offside and earns himself a couple of easy runs.
Ball ricocheting off the wickets there, giving the batsman least a thought about the third run, but deciding against it.
Lovely pitched flighted delivery from Naveed, and James goes for the cover drive. He edges it all the way down to the third man boundary. He's earned himself 3 runs.
Good piece of work there by the fielder, just stopping it inches before the ball reached the boundary. Instead, it would be 3 runs.
No real difference in the field settings for Eust. 2 men out on the leg, 3 on the off on the boundary line, and they've had to bring that sweeper in. We have Honey Gory at short third man, moving around like as if he's listening to Honey sing. For the Asian contingent, I'm sure you'll have got that joke.
Great flight there by the new bowler. Batsman a little indecisive whether to go forward or back.
And there goes Eust going for a sweep 4. Read the line quickly. Shouts of mango from the crowd, as some locals may be familiar with.
It really pierced the gap there.
Yeah, that Eust was definitely in the right position there to just go for that sweep full-heartedly along the floor. 4 runs. Let's see the comeback now from Naveed. What can he offer? Slightly short. Eust rocks back, cuts it to 4 behind backward square. Runs again.
Yep, no indecisiveness and footwork there.
And
Yost.
that's over. And 82 for 1 off 10, and that's the over. And at the midway point, we'll see if we can mix it up in the commentary box, and we may also see whether we can maybe get a guest interview as well on the mic at some stage to get some first-hand views and thoughts from the home camp. I'll be handing over now to Richard. Over to you.
Thanks, Harps. Again, the halfway stage, you would say it's fairly evenly matched. I think Luxembourg might have a slight advantage that they've only lost 1 wicket, and that was the opener, Scott Brown, went in unusual fashion, who was run out at the non-striker's end off a free hit. So James Barker is currently on 20, and Joost Mays has raced along to 32. And the skipper now is really leading the way. We thought this at the beginning of the game, that James Barker might be the anchor, who runs well between the wickets, pushes the 1s, the 2s, obviously looking for the boundary off the bad ball as well. But very much going to play the anchor role in this Luxembourg innings and let the stroke makers of Scott Brown, Joost Mays, Vikram Vij, etc. to come to try and bat around him and score the big shots. So an interesting point now at the halfway stage. 85 for 1 off 10. And we start now the second part of this Luxembourg innings, a final 10 overs.
Quick single on the offside to start off the second half of the innings. What do you think is a good total here, Richard?
I think traditionally 160, 170 at this ground, but I think it is a big ground. I'm not sure how well that's shown on the camera, but it is a large outfield, especially at the moment towards cover. Hitting out towards deep cover is a long way, but I think the outfield is so quick. We haven't had much rain here in Luxembourg in the last couple of months And as we can see, it's been a lightning fast outfield. So I think Luxembourg will be looking for 180, a further 100 runs in the last 10 overs, as Joost Mees absolutely melts that through extra cover for 4 runs. That is close to shot of the day. Joost Mees is continuing his good form.
He's looking good, isn't he? Just leaning into that drive in the offside.
Six. And really looking to push this Luxembourg innings on. As we said, he's probably looking now, Luxembourg are probably looking now for 10 runs and over in the final 10 overs to try and get them close to that 180 mark and put in a good score. It's excellent batting there from Joost. Anything straying down that leg side, there's a big open gap between deep long on and deep mid on. There's no one on the boundary, so anything leg side, I'm sure Joost will continue just to look to pull away for 4 runs. So Joost now going to the 40s, ever closer to that half century, but I don't think he'll be thinking about that right now. Curse. Joost gives a mighty swing and snicked through to the keeper. I might be buying him a beer later on. So whilst we have that wicket of the skipper Joost Mees, who's gone for 40 and takes the score 2 wickets down now for Luxembourg, we're joined by the opening batsman Scott Brown, who was out in a very unusual way. It must have been very frustrating, Scott. You're looking to bat well.
Yeah, it was nice to hit a few boundaries early doors. I won't say unlucky because there's no such thing as unlucky, but it's a bit of a soft way to get out. But hopefully, kick on to the next games tomorrow.
You looked in super form there. Was the ball moving around much, or was it fairly up and down?
No, yeah, it was fairly up and down. The opener from this end, I think he struggled a bit with his length. So it was nice to hit him for a few boundaries early doors. As I said, it was all good.
Absolutely, because you're on the back of a very good season, certainly in local cricket, and looking to take that now into the national tournament. What do you think is going to be a good score on this ground?
I think we've got to be going 170 plus, I think, to really give ourselves a chance. I know they've got a couple of decent batsmen. The guys have been talking about from playing them previously. So, yeah, if we can get up there or up even higher, that would be awesome. We've got a decent start and you've got a couple of boys in the middle order like Vikram who's just come in and Tony. Hopefully they can kick on and really get us close to that.
Fantastic. Excellent. Well, thanks very much for your thoughts there, Scott, and well batted today.
Cheers,
and
mate.
look forward to you carrying on in this tournament.
All good. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
So Vikram Vij is the number 4 batsman who's just come to the crease now for Luxembourg. He's replaced the skipper Joost Mees, who unfortunately was out, caught behind, looking to increase the score for Luxembourg, who, if we're going on what Scott is looking for, we're looking probably now for 8 to 10 and over for the final 10 overs to get up to that 170, 180 mark. And the score now is 91 off 11 overs. And we're 2 wickets down. So the game now really just starting to heat up a bit, you feel, with Vikram Vij, who is a very, very competent batsman. He can be a very big hitter. He often takes a bit of time to get his eye in. But when he gets going, there is no finer player to hit some big, big sixes. And I'm sure he will take a liking to Naveed here and his off spin.
Let's hope we won't have another commentator's curse here after the last incident.
Lesson learnt, and I will not be commentating now on any individual batsman, I've learnt. Good start from Vic, who once again is just push that for 2. First ball he's faced.
Little wayward throw from the outfield, but the bowler doing well to get behind it.
So I think Vikram really will be looking to attack Naveed. You can see him looking towards the leg side. He can clear that boundary easily. We've seen that in the past.
Like Richard said, Vikram does like to get his eye in, take his time in the beginning, and the high score at the moment gives him that luxury to just ease himself into the innings.
Two balls are just tapping it back, finding his rhythm. Vikram just pushes that into the gap for 2 runs. And one thing I think has really impressed everybody watching the Luxembourg national team this year is just the level of commitment they've put into their fitness. And I think Vikram is certainly a player that's benefited from that, running these 2s now in relative ease. And that's the end of the 12th over. And Luxembourg now are 97 for 2. So 8 overs to go. And if we're looking at the 180 mark, we're looking now at 10 and over. So James has certainly performed his job up until now, providing that anchor for the other batsman to come in. But I think at this point, the skipper Joost Mees will be looking for both batsmen to start to push on.
Absolutely. At some stage, the decision has to be made to go from both ends. Whether or not it's this over or the next remains to be seen, but both batsmen are set and must be eyeing a big one. Into the leg side for a single by Vic.
Into his final over of this spell, and James Barker now, as we just said, needs to open the shackles and immediately respond. Must have an earpiece in this commentary because he has smashed Sadesh for a massive 6 over deep cow corner. And as Anand said, the shackles now really are well and truly off Barker, who is going to join the onslaught.
Yeah, the bowler looked a little shocked there as well with that shot. Absolutely creamed that. And went right into dugout.
And there he goes again. And it's just 4 runs. It was millimeters before the boundary rope. But another fine shot. And now James Barker really showing his intent. And I think this is going to be the start of the Luxembourg full-out attack into the final 7.5 overs of this innings to really try and get the score up to as close to 180, maybe even 200, if Barker can stay in and continue this type of form. He's done it in the past, and it has also, for a millisecond, changed the field. But deep mid-wicket has been told to go back to where he was by the skipper. And beautifully placed now, James, just dabbing it down to third man. And once again, talking about the fitness of these Luxembourg players, certainly being shown there very well by James Barker, who scampered back in, even put in the dive to ensure that he was able to get home.
Absolutely excellent running, some big hitting, followed up by some great running. And 200 definitely looks on the cards now.
It's now 110. So this over, not yet over from Sadesh, but has proved to be extremely fruitful. And James Barker looks to have a problem with his pad by the looks of things. So he's just signaled through to the changing room for a change of pad. And captain as ever, leading from the front, taking out the pad. No, he's not. He's decided he's skipper and he's delegated. And 12th man, Mohit Dixit, is running out the pads as the 12th man from the Czech Republic team, as well as coming out to give a well-earned drink to some of the bowlers and fielders.
Change of pads used as an opportunity to get some quick drinks as well for the batsmen and the fielders. Looks like there's going to be attack from both ends now, with a final delivery left in Sudesh's over.
The onslaught from Barker comes to an end, out in exactly the same way as skipper Joost Mays nicked it through to the keeper for a very fine 37. It's a real shame because he really looked as if he was about to up the ante and start to go for it. But it was a fantastic innings, exactly what Luxembourg would have wanted him to have done. He anchored the first 10 overs brilliantly and then really started to let loose until he was out. Fine ball from Sadesh. It was pitched up just outside off stump. Just moving away and took the edge of Barker's bat through to the keeper and the skipper. Ed Knowles, a fairly regulation catch. And this brings in now the next batsman, Suresh.
Yeah. James now being replaced by Saransh Kulshetra. Right hand bat. Technically quite gifted, but also very capable of hitting the big shot. Vikram now has been in for a couple of overs. Should have his eye in. New batsman on the other end. Interesting to see how this plays out from here.
So they've got quite a few players out deep square of the wicket. So whether they're not trusting Naveed, that might drop in the short one, because I think, as has just been shown there, the batsmen are probably going to want to look to hit straight. So far, he's pitched the ball up, and he's pitched up fairly nicely on a good length, a good line. And I think scoring options for the Luxembourg batsmen really are going to be straighter. And actually, as that is being said now by this commentator, deep square leg is moving around to more of a deep mid-wicket and going slightly straighter, which I think is probably quite a good move from the Czech skipper there. I think they need to be looking to defend more in front of the wicket than square and behind with Naveed bowling. It says that it goes right behind the wicketkeeper. Fortunately, though, they had a 45.
A cheeky little sweep shot attempted there by Saransh to start his innings off.
That's the straight shots that we're looking for. Is a full toss by Naveed, a rare full toss from him, and hit squarely back down the ground by Saransh. So Naveed is now going to be continuing to the left-hander Vikram Vij. And that ball was one of the rare shorter balls, and Vikram has cut that away just backward of point as deep cover comes round to collect, and they come back for 2 runs.
Of course, with power play, 4 fielders are always required in the infield, which is what Czech have, which means that there are free singles really around the field right now to be had.
So the score is now 115 off 14 overs. So with those quick wickets of the skipper, Joost Mees, and then James Barker going down within a couple of overs of each other, it's just slowed the scoring up as 2 new batsmen, Vikram and Saranch, just have to try and rebuild a little bit, get their eye in before they can launch an attack. But I'm sure it should be coming any time now. And it looks like we've got a new bowler who is Kushal. Kushal is now coming back on, Kushal Kumar. And he will be bowling to Vikram Vij. So again, now field starting to spread as the Czech Republic look to defend the boundaries. Deep mid-on coming straighter as an instruction from Captain Ed Knowles behind the stumps. And it was a good first ball from Kushal. And all Vikram could do was just push it into the covers for a quick single, which is good batting. Rotation of strike, ensuring there are no dot balls is going to be absolutely key now in the final 6 overs for Luxembourg.
With the change of bowler, let's also have a refreshing change in commentary with Harpal.
Cheers, Anand.
Side as well, we're also going to change over to Mark Fitzgerald.
We're in for an exciting finale to the innings, I'm sure. Just over 5 overs to go. See a dot ball there. Nice
Not
carry.
with shots like that, we're not. Lunging out aimlessly at the ball. Not very much going on there.
I expect any bat on ball from here on is a single. So we're looking at least targeting 60 off the last 5. And there we go. Bat on ball. Can they push for 2? Just the one strong arm there from the third man.
Last 5 sounds like a bit of a tall stretch at this stage, doesn't it? I mean, the speed they're going, that's
I'd say so, Mark, but they've got wickets intact.
yes, they have it.
We've got Addy to come in the lower order.
Well, I think we're probably, I wouldn't say we're avoiding the elephant in the room, but if Vikram stays there for any much longer, he's not going to hang around, is he? So we all know that Vicky's a tremendous hitter of the ball, and he's just spanked that one away through extra cover for a mango 4. Let's hope Vicky can stay around and bump the Luxembourg score up a bit.
That's right, Mark. Love a mango there, but that was all the way along the carpet. That was lovely to see.
That also counts as mango, so that's okay.
This is very much the Luxembourg Urban Dictionary on the cricket pitch.
Stepped inside that. Oh, no. Umpire, after a long hesitation, has called it a wide.
Certainly did take his time to stretch out those arms.
I think he was wondering if Vicky had just stepped inside it and let it bounce over leg stump. But anyway, giving Luxembourg the benefit of the doubt. Top of the home players' tent. And Vicky certainly opened his shoulders on that one. Tremendous shot. Off, not a bad ball, it has to be said. That was a fairly well pitched up ball on the middle and off, and he has absolutely tonked it.
It's not often we see a ball being fetched from behind the Wendy hut. which, in other words, yes, is the pavilion as it stands here in the Pier Warner Oval.
Probably a good moment to mention all the tremendous support that we get here from the Commune de Valverdange, as well as the Ministry of Sport here in Luxembourg, who've given us this tremendous pitch here to play on that they do such a lot of work to help us take care of, and without which, of course, today's cricket wouldn't be possible.
Absolutely.
Oh, good quick arm there, and good backing up at square leg. Overthrows looked on, but square leg seems to have stopped that ball.
On that note, end of over, 129 on the board.
Into the 15th over, we have the sanitizing break. All of the players will go up and douse themselves in sanitizing alcohol. See one of them out there in the middle just has a little shot to sustain himself and keep his spirits high. Oh no, that seems to be water.
Could be very well disguised in these water bottles in this day and age, for all we know.
You never know. You never know. And in this natural break of play, we'd like to say a big thank you to the sponsors who've helped contribute to this Luxembourg T20I three-way round-robin tournament. Big shout out to Redbridge Recruitment, simply the best headhunter in Luxembourg. Big thanks also to JTC, Fund and Corporate Administration and Accountancy Services. If you're looking for that, then you can't do better than JTC here in Luxembourg. Big thanks to the sponsors who've helped us make all this possible.
Nice shout outs, Mark. So here we go. We've got 5 overs left, 7 wickets in hand. And Vikram just rocks back and he's pulled that straight to the man at leg.
And he's done very well. He stayed inside the rope. He's just checked to see where his back foot is, and Vicky's going to be furious about that.
It's I think it was the right shot for that ball, and he's just found the man.
Just hasn't hit it quite as hard as he wanted.
And just didn't get it over the rope. So there we go, with the ascendancy on here in the last 5 overs.
And Vikram out seems to bring Tony Whiteman to the crease. Reputedly not the youngest man on the team. Tony, as you can see on his back, he's got the big number 50. That is not a coincidence. So tremendous to see Tony Whiteman turn 50 last year and out here representing Luxembourg. A wonderful player.
Absolutely, and you know, looking in good shape, I would say, to merit his place in the team.
Yeah, from front on, I'd say he looks good. Yeah.
Oh, we have a ball going down leg side there from the immediate call at wide.
Yeah, so that's 2 wides, as you say. Good call there from.
Look at that.
Good call in there from Tony, and
Tony
brings him
ran
on
to
to
the
strike.
danger end, as if he was just 18 years of age.
Into the 16th over, so 4 and a bit overs to go. Scores, well, it's 129 at the end of the last over. So realistically, at 10 and over, they could get to 70. But as I say, it doesn't look like they're scoring that quickly at the moment.
No, with 6 wickets in hand, every batsman coming in with a license, I'd still say it's on.
Certainly okay. It's a good stop there at backward point. He's lunged like a salmon to stop that one, and Tony's come through for 1.
Absolutely great fielding there from the, I'd say, the John T. Rhodes of Czech Republic by the looks of it. I mean, that was a fine stop. Saved a certain boundary. A lovely flight there, and
just chipped it up between the infielder and the man on the boundary. So that's a useful 2 runs there. I think he probably ended up playing that quite well. He didn't give it the full beans. He just took his foot off the gas, and that's
There's a
That's a good
teasing
shot.
flight there from Naveed Agreed. I think ideally there's a 4 there on the cards extra cover. It just feels like the batsman's going for that.
He's really given that everything, hasn't he? But he's got a
Yeah.
big fat outside edge, and he's fortunate not to spoon it up to backward point. But anyway, they've come through for one. That brings Tony Whiteman back on strike, coming up to the end of the 16th over.
Sensible stuff there. Tony daring to take a single, but a dot ball. This is now edge of the seat kind of contest.
So Tony Whiteman leans back, plays the optimist dab there down to backward point or deep third man, and fielders run back, got it, and gets ball back in for 2 runs. That brings us now to the end of the 16th over, and we are at 137 for 4.
So let's see what the other commentators in the box feel like is a reachable target. Richard, any guess from you as to? So there's 4 to come. Luxembourg are 137 on the board.
I think realistically we're now looking around 160, 165. And I think probably not quite where Luxembourg would want to be. We heard from Scott Brown earlier, who was after 10 overs looking for around 170 plus. But as we said, when Joost got out and then James Barker got out, I think that just held up the Luxembourg innings. And they've struggled really to get going with any kind of fluidity since Barker and Mays have left. And Whiteman now and Saranch trying to push things on. And I'm sure they're both big hitters. Saranch is when he's in. Unfortunately, he was clean bowled.
Yeah, I mean, you can see really trying to throw the kitchen sink there, going over long on for a big one. And it was a case of, you miss and the bowler's going to hit. And so that brings the end of the 5th wickets for Luxembourg. And in comes, I think it's Addy.
Addy is joining Addy, the wicketkeeper. He's going to be joining Tony Whiteman. Addy, a very David Gower-esque type of batsman. He looks very lazy in the way he plays his shots, yet very elegant as well, and very strong on the offside. And Luxembourg now really will be looking to him to try and build momentum with Tony Whiteman, who again is a very capable 6-hitter and can clear the boundary easily. And they will certainly be looking to try and take advantage of that.
Straight away, a good line and length there from Aaron. Just to mention that there was a change of bowling at the beginning of this over, and he's come in and he's got a wicket with his first ball. Addy here representing Luxembourg, but also on the domestic circuit, Stars cricket team in the Luxembourg Cricket Federation.
Have they still got its team?
Absolutely. I mean, he's actually had a brilliant season on the domestic circuit as a key batsman keeper for Stars.
Scampered 2, great running there from the Luxembourg team.
He's as Richard rightfully says, in a great David Gower mold of a batsman. He's very correct and textbook in his stroke play. Unfortunately, he doesn't have much time though to buy himself and get his eye set. So it'll be very interesting to see him now try and click into a gear from the off.
He's certainly going at it with positive intent, but didn't middle that one at all. Right over a big thick bottom edge straight into the ground. So not the desired outcome. Anyway, that brings Tony Whiteman back onto strike. As Neil has said, Tony can certainly spank it, and the Luxembourg team will be hoping he'll launch this next one out the ground.
Yeah, he's certainly got many spectators standing on their feet in anticipation of something exciting about to happen.
In the end, he's turned a good ball, just turned that around the corner. Oh, there's an overthrow there. It's gone past the keeper, straight to square leg. He's fumbled it. He did a good job to stop 4, but couldn't quite stop that 1-0 overthrow. And if I was a betting man, I would say that Tony is about to open his shoulders here.
Speaking of betting, Anand, any guess on what you predict would be the total here for Luxembourg? It's a soft single there, soft hands, lovely play from Tony, clever batting, and Anand, if you had to place your money here on something, what would you predict?
Well, a quick answer for me would be around 165, 166 if I was a betting man. But that's the thing with 2020. You have to be constantly doing this mental math to try to figure out what the best score for you would be, because really within the span of a few deliveries, things can turn on its head. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
well, I mean, it's a sensible prediction. We're 1-4-3 for 5 with 3 overs to go. I'd say the Czech would be slightly feeling on top of things, and the regular occurrence of the wickets has kind of stemmed the flow of runs that Luxembourg would have anticipated towards this latter end.
Quick single there. Luxembourg do have quite a deep batting lineup, though. So
yeah, that's a good point. So who's to come? We have William, Cope, Ankush. No, sorry, my bad. I'm just misreading some. We've got Marcus Cope. We've got Pankaj and William Cope still to come.
Yep. So plenty in the tank to get a big one.
Yeah. Bit of a free rein, I'd still say, for the batsmen out there. And on that note, a swing and a miss from Addy.
Absolutely not what the Luxembourg team wanted. I think there's a couple of the teammates have just checked the format and they're confirming this is not a test match.
I've seen a wide there where almost the ball looked like as if it had just hit the edge of the mat.
Which should normally be called a no ball.
That's why I was surprised to see, but we have to respect the umpire's decision on this international fixture, and they've gone with the consistency of calling it a wide.
I'm sure that he had a far better view as to where that bounced than we did from here in the commentary box. So I'm sure the umpire got it right on that occasion.
Absolutely, unless I'm just completely deceived by the seam movement.
Indeed. That was a good sharply run 2 there. So the boys aren't hitting the ball as well as they'd like, but they're certainly making sure they get value for the shots that they get. And that was a good run 2 for Luxembourg.
Addy going for a full swing there onto the leg side. Scampers a single.
It's gone straight to the square leg fielder. And you have to say, this is a tremendous line from the bowler. He's really doing a great job in the closing overs of this first game in the T20I Luxembourg Czech Belgium Challenge. And Tony's launched that one over to extra cover.
Good bit of footwork there, and it saves a 4 from the looks of it, from the fielder out on long off.
Absolutely. It wasn't pretty. It did look like Bambi on ice, but it was certainly effective. He got a big old size 11 behind that, and got a good to throw in. Kept the Luxembourg team down to 2, and that seems to bring up the 150 for Luxembourg.
150 up.
Applause from the commentary box.
Oh, a delicate, soft edge there, going down to third man, running it there.
Ball seemed to have Tony in 2 minds there. It seems he was trying to give himself room to clear his foot out of the way of the leg stump, and the bowler just followed him a tad.
I think it's very clever over from the bowler. I think he's reading the line very well, knowing that Tony's looking to create room. So Kushal Kumar there with a pivotal over where it did feel like he was not giving anything away. So we got 2 overs to go. And 151 on the board.
Another over from Arun Ashokar. Now, he bowled a pretty tight over the first time around, and
That's right, yeah.
seems to be bowling quite a heavy ball.
Oh, he's certainly got good weight going into the delivery stride, I'm sure, but it's a question at this stage of if the batsman's swinging and misses, then we can expect to see some of the furniture there being castled.
Tony certainly showed his intention the last over.
And it's not searing pace. It's a pace where the batsman almost needs to force the tempo and emphasis into the shot if he's looking for the boundary. So it's a clever bowler to be bowling, I'd say, at this stage of the game.
And it's a good line too. It's I think he spotted that Tony's probably more comfortable there on the offside, so he's just bowling into middle and leg stump there. Seems to be tying him up a bit. Let's
see what Addy can pull off here, and he's gone for a kind of a
could be disaster.
Unfortunately, Addy trying to squeeze a single there ends up getting himself run out. So interesting to see fall of wicket there, bringing in one of the Cope brothers to the crease.
Looks like Marcus Cope to me. And Tony Whiteman absolutely anchored to his crease there, having nothing of that, no intention of taking a run, and on reflection, a very wise choice. There didn't seem to be a run there at all.
Yeah, it was a on drive heave almost from Addy. Unfortunately, hit the stumps at the other end and was straight to the fielder off the ricochet, and he was already halfway down. So an easy wicket, soft wicket for the Czech team.
254 or 5. We'd have to check the scorebook. So we've got probably 9 balls remaining. So really, you'd want to be looking at 165, I'd say, is the minimum.
I think Lux would certainly be targeting 170 as a benchmark. And Marcus...
But not with shots like that. So Marcus comes charging down the pitch and then try to play the Luxembourg cut.
That's right. A bit of a shimmy there, and may have not helped him. This time Marcus aiming for the leg side boundary on a ball that seemed to have just missed the top of middle. Had he connected, I'm sure it would have been a lovely 6, but again, a swing and a miss.
Yeah, it looks like he just needs to get bat on ball, but he's got a bit exuberant in these last few balls, or his first few balls even. Let's see what he does with this one. He's played that a bit better, a little bit more within himself. He's got a bat on ball, pushed it out to square leg, attacked the fielder, and a tremendous throw came in there from the deep square leg, or he's running from the deep square leg boundary, keeps Marcus Cope down to 1 run, and this is turning out to be a very, very tight 19th over for the Czech team.
Yeah, it's all about Tony on strike here, and Marcus trying to grab a single. Not sure I can contain my excitement going into the final over here. I might have to hand over to Richard to do the honours. Well, how about that? Tony rocks back off the last ball of the over and just cuts a 4 nonchalantly to the boundary there with utmost ease. And he's earned himself a quick drink and perhaps a message being relayed from the captain there through the 12th man as Luxembourg go into the final over of their innings with the score at
157 for 6. So we've got 6 balls left.
And I will hand over the mic to Richard to do the honours for the final over.
Thanks, Harps. It's been a pleasure. I think I'm now being joined as well by Anand Pandey as Mark and Harps just make their way to the back of the commentary box. Although Mark just made his way into the front of the commentary box. And he's not yet a brilliant window. I'm sure he might So, final over, Marcus Cope to face. And it looks like we've got Kyle Gillam. Oh, and he was nearly caught. It was one of those unique one-day shots, just scooped up and over, but very nearly caught out.
I think it was the right shot selection with the length of the delivery, with the field setting. Fine leg is inside the circle, and Marcus Cope almost managing to clear him. Fingertips on that ball to stop the 4.
So it's just a mishit of a cut through to point, and they've scampered through for a single. So after the first 2 balls of the last over, we've got 2 runs, and Luxembourg really need to be looking for boundaries now. Kyle Gillam has bowled well so far. His first 3 overs were very testing for the Luxembourg batsman. And once again, he's given catching practice to the guy at a 45. He's on the 1. He fingertips before, as Anand said, but this time making sure he really pinpointed the man out and just slotted it straight to him. So that brings the second Cope of the Luxembourg team, William Cope, to the crease. And he will be at the non-strikers end, as they did cross by the looks of things. So Tony Whiteman will be facing. So the final over, we've had a wicket and 2 runs. So the Czech team will be very happy with this performance, and especially Kyle Gillam.
Tony smashed that to cover. A good throw in. The wicketkeeper takes the wickets away, but Tony's dive, making sure that he gets in time. Close decision. The umpire giving it a not out. Great running by Tony Whiteman.
So we've got 2 balls to go in this final over. And Luxembourg have added 4 to the total. So Luxembourg are now on 161. Can they get to 165 in the final 2 balls as Kyle Gillam comes in again? That was well pulled out, but there's a man out there at deep square leg. And this is going to be very tight, but unfortunately the throw wasn't a good one from the Czech fielder, and skipper Ed Knowles had to do an awful lot of work to get anywhere near, and wasn't able to do it, which in the end made for an easy 2 for Luxembourg. So 163 with a ball to go.
Luxembourg doing a good job at finding the fielders in the last few overs. So not many boundaries to be found, but a lot of good running has made sure they're at a decent position.
And the final ball of the innings has wrapped Tony Whiteman on the pad for a leg bye. And I think we're going to be finishing on 164. So Luxembourg, having won the toss, Joost Meijs won the toss at around 3:30 this afternoon, Luxembourg time, decided to bat first. And Luxembourg decided to open with James Barker and Scott Brown. It was a fantastic start. Scott Brown really entertaining with some big hitting, some excellent shots that got him to 21 before he was run out in fairly unusual circumstances, run out at the non-strikers end off a free hit, which brought in the skipper Joost Meijs at number 3 to join James Barker, who very much anchored the innings at the beginning. And Joost showed his class, some very powerful shots through the offside. And in the end, he was caught behind for 40 off just 24 balls. Vikram Vij then joined James Barker, who also started then to outlive his role as the anchor and start to increase the run rate with some big 6s over Cow Corner. But both Vikram and James, unfortunately, were out in fairly quick succession, both caught. And you could say that led to a bit of a stumble for the Luxembourg innings, as Saranch Kulsharatha, Tony Whiteman, who ended up 20 not out, and Adi Manipali struggled a little bit just to try and keep that momentum going, which can be very difficult in the final overs of T20, having to try and hit from ball one as soon as you get in there. You don't have the advantage of a ball or two to get used to things. And Luxembourg ended their 20 overs on 164 for 7. Judging from what Scott Brown said, who came and joined us very briefly at the halfway points, Luxembourg were looking for 170, 180. So you would say this score is probably slightly under par. However, the Czech batsmen will be batting on this track for the first time. They haven't done it before. And the Luxembourg bowlers, of course, will have home advantage. They know this ground well. They know the track. And we'll have to see what happens. So we now have a 20-minute break between innings. And we will say goodbye. And we look forward to welcoming you again in around 15 minutes' time. Okay, so it's a very, as Ankush Nanda comes in again now and bowls, and it's a big swing there from Honey Gori. It's a big shout from the guys behind the keeper, but given not out. And again, another dot ball. So we've got 3 dot balls.
Good start here from Luxembourg. That was an ugly-looking hoik for an opening batsman, it must be said. It looks like a bit of a tactical move to open with Honey Gori here. He's trying to swat an offside delivery to the leg
now
side.
coming back in to bowl the 4th ball as he comes through. And once again, that was another bit of a hoik that was just smashed into his pad. And once again, it's no runs. So we've had 4 dot balls.
Another offside delivery there where the batsman's looking to go leg.
And you should now be able to see us again. So welcome back to all of those that were trying to watch. You should now be able to see the action.
Bit more like it from Honey Gori. A single out to long off. Luxembourg have 2 men out on the offside, so we have a deep extra cover sweeper position, and we have our very own Scott Brown in long off, who cleaned up there and kept it to a single.
So we've got the other opener for the Czech Republic, Sumit Pukal, who will be facing his first ball for this tournament in this innings. And that was pushed nicely through. And it looks like Ankush Nanda is actually getting quite a nice bit of a way swing as he's bowling. But he was immediately off the mark with a single.
Another dot ball, a swing and a miss to a ball outside the off stump.
So good start from Luxembourg. Probably not the start Czech were looking for, judging by some of the shots that were played in that over. And it's 3 for no wickets off the first over. It was some very expansive shots there in the first over. Really looking to try and take advantage of the power play.
Agreed. It looked quite agricultural from here, from the opener. I would have thought he would have got more merit trying to go through the offside with some nice expansive cover drives instead of swatting over leg side. Seems like Honey Gori still has the sounds of Honey Singh ringing in his ears as he tries to swing that bat.
So opening the bowling at the other end for Luxembourg is Saransh Kulshrayatha. It's a tactic that has been working in his club team, the Optimists. He often opens the bowling. And he will be opening the bowling and bowling to Sumit from the Czech Republic.
So we have an off spinner coming in as the opening bowler. A dot ball. Lovely tight line and length there. Nothing given away there to mid-wicket. Sensible stuff. Tight start from Luxembourg. Another dot ball. Good fielding off his own bowling.
Energy down here at the ground, at the Pierre Venecre ground of Alfredange. The Luxembourg fielders making a lot of noise, a lot of support for the bowler. They can feel they're starting to get on top. Oh, as another dot ball comes through, and Luxembourg really starting very quick out of the blocks here in the second innings.
It's got through these few balls very quickly. Few dot balls, and you can feel a bit of Czech pressure building. That would have been a lovely deft shot down to third man. There are runs on. And he's picked the man out at deep mid-wicket for an easy single. I think that's James there with a good trusted long arm for Luxembourg. Honey Gori back on strike. with a deep long on and a deep mid wicket.
And again, well bowled there from Saranch. Pressure really is building. It's just 4 now with 1 ball left on this over. And once again, what a fantastic opening over there from Saranch. Just 1 off the over. And this really is a brilliant start from Luxembourg. And Czech only 5 off the first 2 overs. Sorry, 4 off the first 2 overs. There was only 1 in that last over from Saranch. Really are now starting to feel the pressure. And the Luxembourg fielders are really, really up for this.
This is exactly what Luxembourg needed. This is exactly the start. Given that total felt a little under par, this is exactly what Luxembourg would have needed. And I reckon they're feeling good, feeling on top. And the emphasis is now on the Czech batsmen to force the tempo. And on that note, first blood to Lux with an ugly looking hoik again, not from Honey Gori, but from the other opener. And it's gone to Eust mid-on.
Yeah, there's limited spectators down here, as we said, but there was certainly a cheer from the grandstand that's out off to our left. There's 25 spectators there.
And rather unusually, we're seeing Strummer of changing pads with Honey Gori. I've got DJ Honey Singh ringing in my ears for the audience that are tuned in here on the LCF YouTube link. And Honey's change of pads hopefully will do him a change of wonders for the Czech fans at least. And in comes the new batsman. So that's the new batsman named Sabawul Davies coming in at number 3. And again, not the most convincing of shots from an opening batsman there, I would say, from the Czech Republic.
No, the pressure was building, wasn't it, Harbs? It was basically 4 runs off 2 overs, and they felt the pressure. It was an awful hoik off the bottom of the bat, straight into mid-on's hands. So not the start the Czech team would have wanted.
Agreed, Mark. Absolutely. It just felt like the pressure was building and something had to give, and they were trying to break the shackles by going over the top. And he's sliced a shot there, trying to heave over mid-on, and with Eust's hands there, the size of a bucket, no chance.
A pretty wide ball there. It's gone straight out to the cover point boundary. I think it probably saved him a wide by reaching out to that. So again, the Czech team have got a left-right hands combo there. So added complication for the Luxembourg team. They have to be on their toes. The fields have to be in the right place every ball, and it's much harder for the bowler to keep on that good line to the left-hand, right-hand combo.
He's up to the crease, and he's sent a ball down the leg side for a wide.
Yeah, as we said, the umpires have absolutely no mercy for anything down the leg side, and that was a good way down the leg side. So I'm sure that Anku shall be working hard on this. He's chucked that one down the leg side again, and he's swatted off his pads for 4, 2 bounces into the net, and that was a lovely shot for a pretty rank ball.
It was a lovely clip. It's fine margins. I think he was looking for a leg side Yorker, which just seemed to be a little bit over pitched. Again, very hard lines, hard margins here, and just flicked off for 4 with no cover on that leg side boundary at all.
No, we've got a man deep out here on the cover boundary. And he's really given that the
Oh.
beans.
Have a word.
Oh.
That came out lovely for the batsman. That's exactly what he was trying to do in the first over, going for that leg side hoik. This time he's connected off the middle of the bat, and it sailed over the fence there for 6 over cow. And quite frankly, for an opening bowler, that's a disgusting sight. But credit to the batsman for finally connecting.
Horigori, yeah, tremendous shot there, straight over the cow corner boundary. We all love to see that, don't we? What's he going to do this time? A little bit short outside the off stump, and lucky, you might say, just that Hani Gagori bottom edged that into the track.
When you said we all love to see that, are you counting yourself there as a batsman with that opinion there, Mark?
Just about the only shot I've got, Harb. So you got to love it, mate.
When you can pull it off, absolutely.
Well, we shouldn't be doing any of that in the commentary box, Harb. So let's get back onto the cricket.
No problem, Mark. We can take that conversation offline at the Nets on a Tuesday night with the Optimists. No problem at all.
To the end of the third over, and Czech Republic have advanced to 17 off 3 overs for the loss of just the 1 wicket. So that was the opening batsman Sumit, who fell down on his sword as he chip went up to Joost Meest at mid-on.
And we have Hani Gori back on strike. Let's see if he's feeling it after that 6 against the off spinner. He's gone for it. And he's earned himself a 4. Gallant effort there on the boundary line, it must be said.
Yeah, great echo from what looks like William Cope out there, is it? Yeah. William Cope diving valiantly, but ultimately in vain to stop that really well hit straight 4. More of a sort of a slog than a pure drive, but he got it right out of the screws.
Yeah, he feels like he's found the middle of the bat after that 6, and he feels like he's just gonna go for it. You just have that feeling.
I can't help thinking that Saranch's pace is going to suit this guy. It's he pushes it on a bit. He's not the slowest off spin bowler, and you can't help thinking that Hani Gagori, if he gets a hold of it, he's going to really get a hold of it.
Definitely. Every ball here is an event with Hani on strike. You just feel like there's something in it for the bowling team, and that you could be taking on a catch on any ball.
Well, that was a rank long hop outside off stump. He's lucky it didn't go to the boundary.
Again, slightly short. Marcus puts in a long barrier effort there at 45. And the batsmen have earned themselves a couple of runs.
Hani Gori's come back for 2 there.
Hani Gori having a rather sweet over here, I would say, with a few runs under his belt now. He's certainly feeling it. He's going again, and he's offered a caught and ball opportunity, which has been put down there by Saranj. Came very quickly back at him. And I would say that was a fantastic stop for a dot ball.
Launched it right at Saranch, and I think Saranch is going to be angry with himself because he got hands to it.
He did get hands to it, but I'll take the
like
dot ball.
Rocket.
I think in hindsight, it was a well-stopped boundary.
Well, if Hani Gori goes on to make 112, he's going to rue that drop.
Saranj first time offering some nice flight, but
yeah, just a bit.
Hani Gori equal to it. He was just on the sweep very early there and read it very well and earned himself a single to get off, well, let's say on strike for the next over.
So at the end of the 4th over, Czech Republic move on to 24 for 1. So they're going along at 6 and over. You recall that Luxembourg got up 264 off their 20 at a rate of a fraction over 8 and over. So I think at this stage of the match, they shouldn't be too concerned about the run rate.
No,
but certainly they'll want to keep up with it. They won't want to get it. They wouldn't want to let that run rate get too far behind and give themselves too much to do in the closing stages of the match.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of, let's say, focus on Honeygory taking the focus here for the Czech team.
Absolutely, and just as we welcome to anyone who's joined us, and you'll see that Ankush has been replaced by William Cope.
Oh, straight away on the money from William.
Yeah, good full length ball, middle and leg, dug it out well. Honey's really he's got his eye, and you can see he's in good nick.
He's looking for room, and I feel like William did well there, going for the leg stump Yorker.
Tried the same ball.
Super feeling here from Scott Brown.
Comes sprinting around the boundary. He's covered a good 30 yards there. He's basically kept them down to one run, and Honeygory looks visibly annoyed with himself that he didn't spank that for a straight four. But you can't have it all your own way.
That has been what looks like his only shot in the locker. Honeygory's long on drive, and Scott Brown did brilliant there, must be said, to cover that ground. Clean pick up and bullet throw into the stump for only one run. Well,
William Cope to Sahawun Davies, and glided there off the leg stump.
excellent.
Some conjecture in the commentary box as to the pronunciation of.
Well, I would go
Sahawun.
Sahawul, is it? I think, but good effort nonetheless from Mark. We're yet to see much of him, as looks like Honeygory is very happy to take the lion's share of strike here for the Czech team. And he's backing himself with every shot. He's certainly no half measures with the way he's swinging that blade.
I think you made an interesting point earlier, Harps. It does seem that he's got that slap, and it's going in a sort of a 30-degree range between cow, which is where he's gone now, and the straight slap over the bowler's head. So he's certainly looking up for it. And anything that's up there in the slot, he's giving it the kitchen sink.
Absolutely. I think it's at this stage, from what we've seen, it's safe to say, I reckon a short ball on the offside will probably find him out.
I've been wondering, Harbs, if Honeygory was a Walt Disney character, which one do you think he'd be?
Oh, Jesus, what a question that is from the commentary box. Well, you certainly put me under the spotlight, Mark. I'll have to give you a test as well. I'm sure I'll need to reciprocate for that. But in the meantime, we've got the end of over from William Hope and a single there, and again by Honeygory to take strike for the next over. And the scores on the board.
We move on to 31 for 1 off 5 overs. So, Czech is still chugging along at 6 and over. I don't think they'll be too concerned about that. Obviously, only the 1 wicket down, so they've still got plenty in the hutch. And they'll probably want to not get too far behind the run rate on this one. So we get a big hand up for the oldest statesman of the Luxembourg team, Tony White.
Look at that. Tony trying to raise the arms there to the spectating crowd, or, well, let's say directly to the commentary box, I would say, and trying to lift the atmosphere and energy levels. He certainly made his mark on the short third man or first slip position. But I'll need to give that Disney question a bit of thought, Mark. Just it certainly tested my Disney knowledge, and I'll have to see how best I feel about that, given my exposure to watching Disney with my 7-year-old son.
Well, we'll give you a moment to think about it, Harbs. It's not the easiest question, I understand. And as we come to the 5 over disinfection break, another word just to thank our generous sponsors who've made this wonderful ICC approved Luxembourg T20I tournament possible.
Well, we've had a change of bowling. But we've certainly had no change of attack from Honey Gory, who just swats a ball over long on for 6. With effortless ease.
So the new bowler is Pankaj Malav, and Honey Gagori has just slapped that ball. God, and if there's a bit of, if the viewers can hear a little bit of interference, it's a tremendously windy day here, and the commentary box seems to be getting the brunt of the wind.
I thought that was just you passing wind, Mark. That was too easy. You set yourself up there, Mark. And, you know, I needed to get my own back. Unbelievable scenes here at the Walford Orange cricket pitch, where we've had to manually keep the commentary box intact as the wind picks up to a next level. We have a good few personnel trying to ensure the commentary box remains intact, including our very own Graham Cope. With instructions for everybody to hold on tight. Well, that pretty much sums it up.
It's all starting to kick off.
You almost think it might actually be helping the bowling side, because that wind is allowing the ball to do some talking, I imagine. We've just seen a swing and a miss for a dot ball.
And if it's blowy for us here in the commentary box, you can imagine how that ball will be swirling around out there for the players.
That's right. We've got another dot ball. Lovely carry through to the keeper. Batsman offering no shot on this occasion. And slightly calmer atmospheric pressure. Oh, and an ugly looking swat there for over the leg side there, and a swing and a miss. Another dot ball for Luxembourg, and you sense a bit of pressure building almost on the batsman here, a bit of unnecessary, undue pressure. I think the key is for the Czech to grab a single and get Honey Gory back on strike. And that's exactly what's happened. We've seen Marcus Cope there coming in from point, almost Jonty Rhodes-esque, trying to offer a run-out opportunity to the non-striker's end. But that said, end of over. And we have 39 on the board after 6 overs. Very evenly poised contest at the 6-over stage, end of power play.
Tell you what, Harps, lots been happening. Commentary box flying everywhere.
That's right. It feels like Mark just flew away there with the wind. And welcome on board, Anand.
Cheers.
How are you finding the reply here from the Czech team?
Tell you what, at the half-stage mark of the Luxembourg innings, there were 82 after 10 overs, and Czech Republic would have taken 160 by the end with open hands. So I think they feel confident, but I think Luxembourg feel very confident as well right now, with a great delivery there from William. Speaking
of confidence, that will have done in the world of good. He has just caught the batsman, squared him up,
really
flying past the edge. Lovely sight for any pace bowler. And he's undone that first ball with a leg side delivery that's been swatted away to deep, fine leg for 4.
Really is all about piling up the pressure in such a close game, and deliveries like that really give the batsman a clear window of opportunity.
Yeah, that will have done the batsman the world of good to get a boundary under his belt. Somewhat feel that the emphasis here is really on Honey to drive forward for the Czech team, but that was runs, easy runs, and again he's gone for a lovely looking deft touch down to the third man boundary. It's beaten Tony Whiteman at short third man, and he's earned himself back-to-back 4s. and he genuinely timed that. He looked in control, and a sign of a good shot there for his confidence.
Czech Republic now have been getting boundaries on a regular interval. Not too many quick singles, but when the boundaries are coming as easily, you don't necessarily need them. And as I say that, a quick single right there.
That was a great variation ball there from William, a slower ball, and it brings Honey Gori on strike. You almost sense that if William can just continue bowling slower ball to Honey, it might be enough to catch a wicket off him.
Does seem like he likes the pace on the ball. So a little bit of change of pace might do William a world of good. He is known for his slower balls, some interesting variations in his slower balls as well. So let's see if he employs that at some point.
Instead, he's gone for a stock ball that's top of middle stump. Compliments from the commentary box here from Mark as well. And it's just been fended for dot ball. Williams back in, steaming in. And Honey's gone for the big one. Has he got enough to clear the boundary? Sure has, and it's gone over long on for 6. So he certainly backed himself, and that's his trademark shot there, earning him 6 runs. And that 6 brings also the end of the over. 54 off 7 for the loss of 1 wicket. And that was a lovely shot, and
Lee cleared the field there, cleared his leg out of the way, and middled the ball. Absolutely creamed it over the boundary.
that is his shot. He's been threatening with that shot from ball 1. First couple of overs, he wasn't able to connect, but you can see when he connects, it certainly does go the distance. We see scenes here of barbecue. Thanks. So we have a lovely sight here of a barbecue on the go outside the pavilion, and we have our very own Tim Andrews certainly giving it the works. Lovely view of the smoke on offer, and the barbecue has ensued with an array of options to complement this fixture, which must be said is very respectful and mindful of the COVID guidelines, with a limitation on the spectators and all the officials. I'm sure that barbecue will do great justice for this kind of a Friday evening here in Wolferdonge. And we have a dot ball here. Good stuff from Pankaj. Lovely line and length, not offering much room for the batsman. Honey Gori looking to probably smoke that one over long on, and wouldn't surprise me if he goes for another shot in similar vein. No, he's done exactly that, and he's been caught at mid-wicket, going for his trademark shot there, the one shot he's been offering all day long, and he's not middled it at all, and he's been caught by mid-wicket. Sanj going for a shot again over long on, and that brings about his demise. Well, what do you think of that, Anand? I mean, you can say job done for the setting the tempo.
Comfortable catch there, really. A few meters on the left or right, and that would have given him 2 runs. So the field was set exactly for that shot. Yet he played exactly the shot that the field was set for, and it resulted in a wicket. But like you said, Harpal, the pace was set.
Thank you.
The pace was set pretty well by Honey. Some big hits in there. And again, I think this match is really, really finely imbalanced right now.
That's right.
New batsman in.
New batsman in. Shripal Gajjar making his debut for the Czech Republic. Let's see what he's made of.
Normally, what we see is a slowing down in the run rate once a wicket falls. So let's see if the new batsman keeps the run rate up, or if it slows down for an over or two now.
Yeah. Well, the batsman's walking.
Huge
Well, how about
appeal.
that? On his debut performance, he offers almost no shot at all, but the ball just seems to have clipped the bat, and it's been caught by our very own Addy, representing Stars from the Luxembourg Cricket Federation as our wicketkeeper batsman, and he's just gone all up in the air for that. The umpire's offered no finger,
I think
and the batsman's walked.
batsman started walking so quickly that the umpire didn't see a need to even put the finger up.
Well, that's an amazing, amazing turnaround to this match, with Honey Gori looking to set the world alight here in the Walford Orange cricket pitch for the Czech Republic. 2 balls, 2 wickets. We're on for a hat-trick. Everyone's on their feet. And what a turnaround for the Luxembourg cricket team. It seems like now the ascendancy is with Luxembourg. So we have a new batsman at the crease for the Czech Republic, Sudesh Wickramasekera. And the rumor has it he holds the world record alongside Suresh Raina and David Miller for the fastest 100 at international level on T20. So here we go. And there's no hat-trick. It's been a top of off-stump, dot ball, respectfully defended by Sudesh. So, well...
Tell you what, that would have been a proud hat-trick to get someone that holds a world record out with your hat-trick ball.
Agreed. It would have been a monumental achievement. However, I think he would have taken the dot ball. He's in again, and another dot ball. Well, I said a dot ball too early. Commentator's curse. He was trying to field off his own bowling, and it's gone for a single. But this is really now shaping up to be a fantastic run chase. 3 men down, and I believe that's the end of over.
We were just talking about the pivotal position the match was in and the balance that it lied in, and that over really helped in shifting that balance towards Luxembourg. Momentum is really with them right now, but with one batsman set and a very good batsman in, it's still anyone's game, and see how it plays out in the next over.
Yeah, so 56 for 3 of 8. Pankaj getting a round of applause from the commentary box. And just to confirm, Honey Gori made 38 of 27 as the top scorer for the Czech so far. But we have almost 2 new batsmen at the crease. And I believe we have also a change of bowler.
Vij into the attack now. We can expect to see a bit of variation mixed with a bit of speed. Hopefully, the attempt of keeping the batsman unsure about what to expect in the next delivery.
It's an easy single down to deep point. Slightly short on the offside, but, bowling to your field, and a single is not going to hurt the team.
Required run rate has now found its way up to 9 and over. So the batsman would be looking for at least 1 boundary in every over. And if not, at least some good running to keep themselves close to that run rate.
Yeah. And thinking of boundaries, we have to the left-hander 3 men out on the boundary. On the offside, 2 men out on the boundary. We have a sweeper and a deep long off. On the leg side, 2 boundary men as well. Long on and deep mid-wicket. a delivery there that was borderline wide, not given. A moral victory for the bowler to have that, a dot ball. Well, I assume Luxembourg will take that, and the fielders have found their voices. There's a lot of talk in the field from the fielding team. And this time the umpire's having none of that. He can't be having two of them in a row, and he's offered that as a wide.
Captain having a quick word with the bowler.
He's up to the crease. He's bowled a slower ball, and it looks like it's at least a 2.
Pierced the gap really well there, the batsman, and managed to get himself a good 2 runs.
Good fielding from Scott Brown on the boundary line there, covering good ground, clean pick up, a throw in. It was always 2. Neat work in the field nonetheless. Oh. Well, an appeal from the wicketkeeper and the bowler, Vikram, but
How would you describe that shot, Harpal? I'll leave
Ugly.
it up to you.
one word, ugly shot. A ball that was well outside off stump, and the batsman there trying to smoke that over the barbecue near the pavilion in Cow Corner. Well, that was uncalled for, in my opinion. Oh, and he's just gone and done it again.
That's the variation I was talking about before. Vikram making sure every ball is slightly different, but the batsman continues to offer the exact same shot for every ball.
Clever change of pace there from Vikram. Very nice change of bowling. It was a smart 2020 bowling that our very own Mark Fitzgerald there offering a support in favour for Lux. And here he goes, turns around, steaming in like a steam train up to the crease. He bowls and a cover drive for 1 run.
That was a very good looking shot, and really that's what is needed on this ground because you get a lot of value for playing proper cricketing strokes. We saw the Luxembourg inning, there were very few heaves and very few balls hit across the line. And that's really where you get the value from. And it seems like the batsman is realizing that now.
Yeah. And that brings the end of the over. And we are 61 for 3 off 9. And Harpal Verdi will be only with you for another 1 over before I hand over the mic for what looks like a riveting second half of the second innings. We have a change of bowling as well on this note. We have Marcus Cope with his spin bowling to mix it up for Luxembourg. Seems like Czech could do with another Honey Gori at the crease, I would say, Anand.
You can never go wrong with Honey Gori.
And first ball, and Marcus Cope earns himself a wicket. He grabs a, well, hang on a minute. What's happened there?
That's what I would call an inspired bowling change.
Well,
It does look like it was a bump ball.
It looked like a catch, but it was actually a bump ball. It had gone straight into the ground. He's in again, and he offers another ball that pitches on a good length and is just fended off for a dot ball to cover.
Last delivery happened to trick everyone as the wind begins to take its toll once again.
Yep, 2 balls, 2 dots. Marcus very much on top.
That is
And
played onto the leg side. Fielder settling under it and takes the
he's,
catch.
he's grabbed himself a wicket there. On that note, batsman going for a leg side sweep 6 attempt, and he's picked out the fielder. Looks like Scott Brown, and
Scott Brown
you
with
know,
the catch. Yep.
safe pair of hands there. As safe as the Luxembourg streets. And Czech find themselves 4 down.
Really tried to nail that shot, but not quite getting the middle of the bat. And Scott Brown had some time to settle under it, moved into the right place, got his feet set, and took the catch comfortably in the end.
I'll swap it in.
This game is shaping up to be so exciting that our commentator is deciding to stay a little longer than he expected to.
That's right. I've been on the edge of my seat, and it's stretched my my stint in the commentary box longer than I expected. And there we go, another dot ball, a bit of pressure. Hilal, the new batsman for Czech, trying to go for a single, and it was a dot ball in the end.
You could really sense the energy in the field now, and also from the crowd.
Yeah.
A lot of noises. Pressure is slowly but surely piling on.
That's right. Not easy runs now for a new batsman to come in and tee off from the off, and they've got time, but
with that delivery now, the run rate has also risen up to over 10 and over.
oh, and an attempted appeal there. The batsman going across the stumps for a shot to the leg stump, and an appeal that goes down. But not an LBW. It certainly looked like it from here, from the commentary box. I guess this is the last ball of the over.
Perhaps slightly high, that last one.
And has earned himself a single to long off. Well, that was an excellent over for Luxembourg. A wicket taking over that could have spun the match Luxembourg's way. And ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to bring you the broadcast here on the LCF YouTube link, and I will hand over the microphone to my esteemed colleagues in the commentary box. We will hand over the mic to Richard, and that will be me for the day. Thank you very much, Richard, and have fun for the second half.
Thanks, Harps. That was an extended stint there from Mr. Singh, but some very insightful thoughts and comments. And we're just coming back now from the end of a sanitization session, which happens after every 5 overs. And we've got some sponsors that we need to mention here. We've got Thumar, who is a specialist manufacturer of different machine tools based here in Luxembourg. Big thank you to Thumar for sponsoring the Luxembourg national team. Talisman Insurance, who offer brokerage service to mainly individual non-executive directors here in Luxembourg, but also other corporate services as well. We wouldn't be here today without our sponsors. So as we're moving in now into the 11th over, then we've got Vikram Vij to continue. Vikram's a difficult bowler to face in T20. He's continually mixing up his pace, and he comes off a long run. You're probably expecting to be quicker than he is. And he's got a lot of cutters, slower balls, and he is a bit like Heinz, 52 different varieties. And there is one, and oh, that was straight back to him and dropped. And excellent effort.
That's the second difficult cotton bowled opportunity of this innings. The first one for Saransh and this one for Vikram. You just need some of those to stick, don't you, Rich?
Absolutely. They either stick or they don't. And unfortunately for Vikram, that one didn't quite stick.
Very long run up for Vikram, starting from the hand sanitizers. Short ball in the top of off stump. The batsman tries to create some room, but unable to do so. Well, we're at a position now where every dot ball really piles on the pressure for Czech.
And that's just one for Czech. As we said before, at the innings break, Luxembourg really want to take advantage of being at home. And the track, although very even, it doesn't have many demons in it at all, does offer a little bit of tennis ball bounce, especially with the dry weather we've had. So obviously the Luxembourg batsmen are very used to that, but the Czech guys just finding this tough going to get the measure of the track and the speed and the bounce. And it's at the moment proving difficult for them as again another dot ball goes through.
Seems like Vic's found a sweet spot, slightly outside off stump and slightly shorter of a good length, which makes it hard for the batsman to get it into cow corner. And even if they could, there are fielders set in place for that shot. Once again, the ball bowled in the same spot, and this time it results in a single. Dot delivery, and Marcus had an excellent first over to start, picked up a wicket as well, and he's managed to keep it nice and tight. Another good delivery. I'd like to switch over the commentary privileges to Mark Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Anand. We'd like to make a quick shout out to Sharon van der Wagen, who's very kindly sent in comments, and I'll read them out. Go Kyle Gillum, sending good wishes from mum and dad-in-law in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, and we've seen a wicket. Marcus Cope, super catch there.
Great catch there from William Cope on the boundary at deep mid-off. I think he thought he was potentially tripping back over the boundary, so just threw it up, got his composure and balance back on the field, making sure both feet were inside the rope and took the catch again. A fantastic effort. And bold Cope, caught Cope. As they have now lost their 5th wicket. And the Czech Republic now starting to look in real trouble. They require 99 runs to win off 51 balls, and they have a run rate now that's creeping up. It's now above 11.5, and it's going to be a tough ask from here on in. The field is now spread. The ball is being tossed up, and This is the tactic that Luxembourg often uses. Giffer now, who's going to be facing his first ball, Ed Knowles. And a solid technique there for Ed.
Make his name there as he pushes that one back. And he's accompanied at the non-striker's end by Hilal Ahmad. So he's pushed that one back to Marcus Cope again. Probably not what the Czech team's looking for at this stage. So as we come to the end of the 12th over.
67 for 5, Mark.
67 for 5.
And they require now 98 runs off 48 balls. And doing the maths very quickly, it's about 12.25 runs an over required.
Yeah, it's more than 2 runs a ball, and that's a big ask for this team, especially with 5 overs, with 5 wickets down. That's going to be a very big ask indeed.
You can feel the energy again throughout the Luxembourg team. They really are starting to feel they're smelling blood here. They can finish off the Czech batsman and claim a win in this opening game. And Ankush Nanda, the opening fast bowler for Luxembourg, has come back on.
After a brief discussion with Joost, they've set the field and really know what they're after, Richie, is it? Another dot ball there for the Czech team, and they'll surely be feeling the pressure, the batsmen out there.
I think when you're number 7 and 8 with such a big task in front of you, you're probably not too happy with your top order, but they have got a big challenge, and they'll get everything they've got until the last ball. But you think with the field spread now, Ankush bowling a good line, a good length, somebody's going to have to do something out of the box.
It'll take something pretty special for them to get those 165 runs they need for victory here today at the Pierre Werner Oval. And you can see the spring in the step of the Luxembourg fielders. Pankaj comes charging in from deep long on, returns the ball to Ankush. Czech Republic increase their total by 1 run with a single to Hilal Ahmad. That brings Ed Knowles, a captain and wicketkeeper, on strike. Guided that nicely through the cover. Nice back foot drive into cover for 1, fielded by Marcus Cope.
And might be a little twist at the end of this game, though, Mark, because there's some dark grey clouds that are gathering over the bridge that's aptly named after your good self. And rain does feel in the air. Now, obviously, we'd have to go through to Duckworth-Lewis consequences and things like that. And we're probably looking at a Duckworth-Lewis target score of around... Just so I'm telling that, I'm going to interrupt myself because
that's a tremendous catch by William Cope out there on the boundary over at Cowker Corner. A running catch. He took it off the ground. That was absolutely tremendous. He seems to have hurt his ankle though in the process. So they're calling. I think they're calling for beer. No, it's ice. I beg pardon. Sorry, it's ice. So they're calling for ice, and so the 12th men come running onto the pitch. Let's hope that that's not too serious for William, because he did take a tremendous catch and he bowled a pretty good spell as well.
Second tremendous catch he's taken, actually. We should go back to the Duckworth-Lewis score, especially now as this is a bit of a hold-up in play, which allows the rain clouds to gather again. And we're looking at 109 for the Duckworth-Lewis score at the moment, Mark, which, again, might look a little bit of a bridge too far for the Czech batsman at this particular point in time.
And is that 109 off what?
Blank looks there from both commentators. We've lost our score, I'm afraid, so we can't
But I
tell you
think
too much more.
what is clear, Richard, is that we are a long way, or the Czech team is a long way behind the run rate here. And you can just sense that the Luxembourg fielders are starting to relax a bit. They're starting to ease off. I think they feel they've got a victory in the bag. And that's a time when you can lose it, Richard.
You can't be complacent in international cricket, as you know, Mark. You've played enough yourself. In the dying overs a game, even if you're on top, it's always important to keep the pressure on and to ensure that you're just as motivated as you were on the first ball as you are to the last ball. So Luxembourg still have a job to do, and they've got to continue to work hard.
And Kushnanda, as you see, a full pitch delivery on leg stump, pushed away for a single by Hilal Ahmed. and that is the end of the over, which brings the score up to 70 for 6 after 14 overs. After 13 overs, I beg your pardon. And we'll just have a look at the score. The run rate has required has gone up to 13 and a half and over. So they need another. What do we need? With the remaining 7 overs, we need another, or the Czech team needs another 95 to win. A tall order indeed, a stiff challenge.
We're just looking at the winometer here. Batting teams win probability 3%. So it's certainly currently very much in Luxembourg's favour, as Marcus Cope is continuing to twirl away from the Fitzgerald Bridge end. And that was just a single there from Aaron, who pushed it around the corner.
Isn't it wonderful to have such an asset like Vichy with the scorecard there to help you out when you need the numbers? And Marcus Cope is bowling like Harry Potter. They seem to not be able to play him at all. Marcus chucked in the quicker one there. Pushed it out to extra cover. Fielded, bit of lax fielding there. Could be a sign that Luxembourg is starting to take their foot off the gas a little bit, but now's the time to squeeze even harder. Anyway, Harry Potter, Marcus Cope comes into bowl again. Lovely length ball, right in the block hole. And straight to mid-wicket for a dot ball. He's given himself a bit of width. It's gone straight up in the air. And out. Pretty simple catch there for Advith.
Excellent stuff there from Luxembourg. Although, as we thought potentially a lackadaisical attitude might come into play, it hasn't. They've continued to put on the pressure. Another wicket again for Cope. Great catch there from the keeper, Advith. And the Czech Republic now, after a long bus journey yesterday, a 12-hour bus journey, apparently didn't arrive until 11 o'clock last night, are having a tough time of it here in Luxembourg on the opening match of this T20 international tournament.
So departure of Ed Noel to skipper. That brings to the crease for the Czech team, number 18, Aaron Ashokan. So here we come at the end of the 14th over, and we are at 74-7. Things looking pretty bleak for the Czech team, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. Anytime you see the run rate above 10 and over, you start worrying a little bit. The run rate right now sits at 15 and over, which means a couple boundaries, maybe a 6 and over, really needed to keep them in the game. Which,
yeah, you're quite right. 2.5 runs of ball is a huge ask, and at the pace that this Czech team is going, it doesn't look like they're going to get there. Still, lots of things could still happen, but if you were a betting man, you'd probably say that the Luxembourg team are in a very good position right now. Now, if you can hear a bit of interference here on the telecast, it's because there's a strong wind blowing through the Pierre Werner Oval here at Wolfenhage, and we seem to be losing quite a lot of the installations. But the show must go on.
It's been breezy, to say the least, the entire day. A lot of bottles flying around, people stumbling over. And as we see, a good stroke hit straight to the fielder, and it's taken by Pankaj. A running catch at the boundary, beautifully caught. And the dismissals of the Czech batsman just continues over after over. Must be said that big strokes are needed. That was the right shot to be playing in that condition for that ball, but not quite hitting the middle of the bat. And the fielder perfectly positioned with a bit of effort needed to get to the ball, but eventually taking an excellent catch at the boundary.
No, I don't think anyone can blame him for going for the shot. He certainly hit it well, and I think had Pankaj not caught it, it may well have gone over for 6. But that, unfortunately for Czech Republic, sees the departure of, I think that was Kushal Kumar. But we'll check with Vishy. Vishy, the oracle of cricket. Indeed it was. Kushal Kumar there departs for 2 only, unfortunately. Bowled Ankush, caught Pankaj. So things indeed looking dire for the Czech team right now.
Well, it is the first game of the tournament, and net run rate could very well be an important consideration in the end. So the Czech team do have something to continue to thrive for, as we have a big appeal from Ankush for a leg before, but probably going down the leg side. Quite expected from Ankush to appeal for anything that's close to the pads.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good appeal. He seemed to get a long way forward, so there's a fair chance it struck him outside the line of the leg stump. So somewhat unsurprising that appeal was turned down. It's a good length ball again from Ankush, right up there in the block hole. All that Kyle Gillam could do was to dig it out straight to mid-wicket, straight to the Luxembourg skipper, Joost Mees, who fielded it for no runs.
That's great death bowling here from Ankush, with the batsman trying to hit out, but unable to. Not getting any room, not getting any loose deliveries. As we get to the end of the over.
So at the end of the 15th over, the Czech team advances for 76 for 8. Situation not getting any better. We have obviously the run rate has stepped up to 17.8 runs and over, and that sees the end of the spell from Ankush Ananda. A very good spell from him. So 4 overs. and his economy rate was just 5.25 runs, which obviously in the backdrop of chasing 8 and over is a pretty good performance, wouldn't you say?
Not to mention 3 wickets in the bag as well. So great performance from Ankush, delivering from the ball as the opening bowler, giving Luxembourg exactly what they needed.
The fourth and final over from Marcus Cope with his off spin from the Fitzgerald bridge end. It's a big appeal there, but the batsman got a long way forward, and I think that Arun Ashokan would have felt very, very aggrieved if he'd have been given out for that one. Dropped it in a bit shorter there, Marcus. He stepped back, pulled it out to the square leg boundary. Good diving stop from Pankaj, who gets the ball back in for 2 runs.
Not to be too pessimistic, but the Czech team really playing for the run rate now, trying to make sure that they get to a position where if things do get close and tight by the end of this tournament, that they're in a position that their run rate gives them a slight edge over the other teams. 70 chasing 160 is quite a while away. So if the last few batsmen can get them a few runs, maybe that puts them in a better position as we get to the end of this tournament.
Yes, you never know. It could just be the difference between a place here and in this 3-team round robin. Every run counts, even though quite clear now that this Czech team is on a hiding to nothing here in the opening game against Luxembourg.
Now, on the opposite spectrum of that, the Luxembourg team must be thrilled by having such a big difference between the 2 scores, adding to the difference in net run rate. Still 2 wickets to go. 2 decent batsmen out there in the middle. Let's see how it plays out as Marcus goes into bowl. And batsman deciding against 2 runs at the end of it. Thought about it, but with the skipper Joost Mees teaming in from the square leg boundary, the batsman decide to stick with just a single.
That brings Aaron Ashokan back onto strike, and as it does, it seems to be a bit of rain just falling here at the Pierre Werner Oval. Now he's given that the kitchen sink. It's 1 bounce out to the deep mid-wicket boundary. It's a good arm in there from James Baker, and that will be 1 run. Which leads us through to the end of the over.
With the score now at 85 for 8 at the end of 16 overs.
And as you say, Anna, and the Czech team now are really just playing for pride and for any type of run rate advantage they could get in these last 4 overs. I think all hope is lost of a victory.
We did say that 160 was perhaps under par. Looks like we were a little mistaken about that.
Well, it's we certainly thought the 160 wouldn't necessarily be the score that Luxembourg wanted to defend, and they were certainly looking at probably 180 or above. But as we also said earlier, it's a big old ground, and there's been some pretty tight bowling from Luxembourg in the meantime.
And he has glanced that really to the wicketkeeper.
No.
Wouldn't even call that an edge. It looked like he was going for a little dab towards gully, and he ended up catching the ball right to the wicketkeeper, and that's another wicket. That's 1 for Vikram Vij. 9 wickets down now for Czech Republic. We get to the last man standing. And
Ankush
looking
Akhtar has
dire
gone for 11
for check now.
off 9 balls. Striding into the crease. The final wicket is striding to the pitch is number 11, Naveed Khan. And on his shoulders, obviously, lie the hopes of the Czech team in these final closing overs. And the rain starts to come down quite heavily now.
Good delivery from Vic, throws it in, but the batsman reaches in time. Quick single taken there. As Mark said, the rain really starting to pour down now. No confusion in what Duckworth Lewis would suggest the outcome of this game would be, but
I don't think even Duckworth Lewis can help the Czech team at this stage. And all is lost here as we're just pushing through the 17th over. The Czech team are on 85 for 9. Barely halfway to the Luxembourg total as Czechoslovakia pushed that one through mid-off for 1 run. The Czech Republic push it through for 1 run. 1 run to the opening bowler, Kyle Gillingham.
really just going through the gears now. I don't think that the Czech team really is out there with a mission. The Luxembourg bowlers just hoping to scalp out another wicket at some point.
There's a bit of discussion. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Adam, between the umpires there. So they've had a chat. The rain's quite heavy. Looks like they've asked Vikram to get through his over as quickly as they can, or Captain Joost Meester certainly done that, but it could be we'll be off sooner than the 20 overs that we're planning. Now, he's pushed it back through to what can be described as a fly slip. He's had a chuck at the wicket, just missed it, and it's all happening out there. It looks like the circus has come to town here at Volfendange, but eventually it's 1 run.
It sure is entertaining from the sidelines, but at some point it is going to get a little dangerous to be out there in this wet outfield. And I think that's what the umpires are once again meeting to discuss now, whether it's safe enough conditions to remain outside or if it's time to call it. And in fact...
Well, I think we saw wicketkeeper Advith just slip there, and it looks like they've called it off, yes.
Yes, it has.
So the umpires have come together. They've decided enough is enough. It's turning into a bit of a skating rink out there, and Luxembourg captain Joost Mees leads his team off to what looks like a tremendous victory in the first match of this Luxembourg T20I round robin tournament between Luxembourg, Czech Republic, who you've seen here, and Belgium.
Does seem like that will be the end of the game today.
And that brings us to the end of the telecast. So we'd like to thank everybody for viewing, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning at 9:30.